Hey guys, here we are like promised at the Nürburgring, and not just with any car but with my 1 Series. I'm just building the car, and the first place I want to take it to is the Nürburgring. So yeah, it will not just be the ultimate test for the car and where we need to improve on, but also for myself as a driver. Previously, I bought all of the 1M genuine BMW parts from BMW, no replica or anything. And yeah, when I was in Thailand and I saw all of these sick BMWs there, I kind of knew what I had to do in 2025. And my mission for this year really was to build my dream car. And I wanted to take the narrow front end of the 1 Series and transform that into the 1M clone that I always wanted to have. And yeah, we built the car at the ring at Ringtoys, and from there we take the car directly to the Nürburgring to test it out. So yeah guys, lean back and enjoy the video. Since BMW has only sold a few thousands of the 1M, I never really got to see one in real life, so this was gonna be my very first time to see the front end in real life as well. Do you have audio? Can you see if I have audio? Wait. Alright, this is the first time I see the car now with the front conversion in real life. Come on, let's go check it out. Oh my god. That's insane. Oh, that looks way more aggressive than on any picture or video I've ever seen. It's really aggressive. Now, I will talk about the car more in depth once we are out of here, of course, but yeah, just have a look. That's crazy. Whoa. This car, oh, a dream. I wish you guys could see this with my eyes currently and not just through the camera. But yeah. Before we roll the car prawn, I want to put on a few other things to the car first, which is the front lip. We need to correct a few things, and yeah, this is one of the future things I want to put on the car, by the way, which is a roll cage in the same color as you see here. So white in real life, like you have to see it yourself, like it's crazy. But yeah guys, all right, there's a few things that we have to correct, which is we have to realign the front bumper so that all of the panel gaps align correctly. We have to readjust the lights, I think, and I've already polished the car and now it's already dirty. So this is the lip. You can see here black, and here carbon, because I actually don't like the look of exposed carbon. I just want the trims to be black. But yeah, these are like subscription models. You subscribe to a lip to make the car look cool, and then you break it and then you buy the next one, right? So yeah, let's hope this one lasts for a while at least. But yeah, let's get these things on. Everyone who knows me knows how many times I talked about eventually wanting to do this type of conversion, and yeah, now it's finally here. I can't believe it, guys. Look for yourself. And since it was my birthday and we were just in Dortmund, we thought, let's go to JP Performance Big Boost Burger. Yeah, it's always a great place to go to. If you're in Germany and you want to see a cool place and you're a car enthusiast, definitely go there. It's in Dortmund. Maybe, you know, add it on your trip to the Nürburgring. It's always good to see what he has in the burger shop. Let's see how he solved the rear seats. Okay, I see. In my opinion, he did a lot for the culture here in Germany and the car culture. And if you want to learn something about German car culture, this is still part of it. You know, hate him or love him, he definitely did a lot for the German car culture. And it's always cool to see what he's building on. And you can always go there, grab a burger, and, you know, just get to see what he's building on or working on. He shares that with his entire fan base. It's super cool, I think. He's the biggest car YouTuber that we have here, I think. Please don't mark my words as facts, but that's what I think. But after this, you know, it was time for us to wrap up the day and go to the ring. And we were already met with the first BS. We ran into the first problem, which is our tire is losing air over the night. We noticed this when we were driving on the Autobahn. Luckily though, the guys from Ringtoys are gonna help us, so yeah, luckily we have them. Thanks guys. And then we're gonna see if we take this car on the ring or if we're gonna take a rental, but we will see. Let's go to Ringtoys first now, and then we see what's gonna happen. We arrived. Luckily Ringtoys is able to help us. But yeah, I think it happened yesterday night on the Autobahn. We just went over this, I don't know, crack in the street in the rear tire, the sealing of the ventil. I don't know that word in English, but yeah, that basically broke. Now they're gonna fix it for me, so yeah, we can still go on the ring today, hopefully. Let's see. So in my head, I already decided what car I was gonna take, and I made up my mind. For sure, it had to be my car, because I was debating between a rental or taking my car, but when I was standing there, I was sure I was gonna take my car. And Hassan, who is a M240i Cup driver, X318 Ti Cup driver, he took us for a ride so that I get a feeling for how the ring, you know, how the elevation is in real life. I just know it from the sim, right? The first lap was quite crazy. If I'm honest with you, I drove this on the simulator before, but everything feels so wide and zoomed in. So on the sim especially, it looks much more narrow. It's almost like you zoomed the FOV in, if I'm honest with you, but and yeah, enough debating if I was gonna do it or when I was gonna do it. It was time for me to get on the racing shoes and get behind the wheel. And I dreamt of this moment my entire life. I drove this track on a sim, on iRacing, on ACC, on Race Room, and on Assetto Corsa. I never dared to actually race there because I always sucked and I never really learned the track. But now it was time to finally learn it, but in real life. And that was the first confident taker, but we still kept going. I have to tell you guys that I was on all-season tires, so I couldn't really push it. The car was heavily rubbing in the rear. We had two people in the rear. I know, excuses, but I really couldn't push it that hard. But I still tried. While I was doing all of these things, I was still learning the track, right? So Hassan, who is an actual racing driver, I had him next to me, and thank God he was there to just, you know, coach me through the lap. Yeah, and that one was pretty scary as the rear stepped out a tiny bit and was in the air. It didn't land straight though, it landed, you know, slightly tilted. So it was like the car was twerking, which could be fixed by adding, I think you call them steps in English, but yeah, anyways, we were now going into Fuchsröhre, and I was definitely not gonna push the car as crazy as other people do here that are experienced. I was still gonna lift, but not too slow, because I still wanted to see what the car was capable of. And yeah, what is gonna happen next was to be expected, if I'm honest. Yeah, we definitely had to put the ride height in the rear a little bit higher. Every time I tested the car on the street, of course, I was never able to tell if it was gonna rub or not. Yeah, you know, the conditions on the Nordschleife are just much different than on any other track and on the street. So this is good for me to know. We definitely need to roll the fenders, put the ride height just a little bit higher. I was fully in the zone though, however, even though I was still taking it a little bit careful. Most of my fear turned into adrenaline, and that adrenaline was like in a sim basically, where I just wanted to see how I can perform without, of course, crashing the car, but seeing where the limit sort of is, right? Even though the limit was kind of determined by rubbing wheels and all-season tires, but still, it was crazy how that spirit that I got through the sim and through all of that virtual racing is sort of the same spirit on the real track. But even though I had some sort of confidence, that confidence would slightly sink the moment I saw this 2 Series in my rear mirror. So I picked probably the worst place to let this guy through. But I did not want to have him behind me in miss-hit mess. And it's still least favorite turn for me on this track. And then to my surprise, it was my time to finally overtake someone who's slower and at a pretty bad spot for a beginner like me. But still, I took it fairly easy and then just played it out safe because I didn't want to put anyone else in danger. Plus, I didn't want to put my car in the barriers. But now we speed off, and this is a really fun part of the track. And no sim in the world is ever gonna, simulate these elevations to you. It's so hardcore. The G-forces, every elevation change, the way you get pushed into the ground and then pushed into your ceiling of the car, it's insane. It's like the wildest roller coaster ride I've ever done, but it's like a scuffed roller coaster. Like, you never really know if you actually make it to the finish line. That's up to you, right? A big part that plays to the factor that you have a massive adrenaline rush and determines also how fast you go, and it's a difference to the sim in my opinion. But yeah, here we were really reaching top speeds, and I noticed that my vibrations are back. We probably lost some balancing weights, and sadly there was oil on the track, so we had to slow down here. Yeah, we had no idea how much oil or whatever, so yeah, better play it safe again, first lap. But yeah, after the carousel we would speed off again into the next section of the track. In a few seconds we will be greeted by a friend who's called Michi. He's driving a 335i E92 BMW, and these cars are only different in their chassis. So under the chassis they are sort of the same car, and he really shows the potential of these cars, what you can make out of it, because he drives it to the full limit. Like, he will tell you that this day he wasn't driving to the limit, but you can already really see the potential of these cars, right? And they already behave really well out of the box, so there's only really a few things that you need to make to get him on track. Here he is passing us, and more to his car later on because we will be taking a lap with him. But yeah, we were about to end my lap, and the wider tires in the front with the wider body was really showing because you felt the car understeering less. Now here with the old tires that I had in the front and the more narrow body, I would have gone off track. But yeah, it feels really nice so far, and the potential of the car is really showing, which makes me really happy, and it's paying off all of the work that we put into the car, and it's slowly coming together. And I will document all of this, of course. And this was my first lap and I still can't believe it. So yeah, guys, how was your first lap if you went to the Nürburgring? Like, what was it like? Comment it down below because I would really love to know. For me, this was a really magical experience, and I think this is something I was always dreaming of and finally did it. I was scared about it, especially taking my car, but I'm so glad I did it because we have so much more information that we can work with on the car, and that's some information that I wouldn't have gotten just by driving the car on the street, right? So yeah, super thankful for that, but also improving hopefully as a driver the more I drive here, and definitely coming back. But yeah, that was my first lap, guys. And again, please comment down below what your first lap on a Nürburgring was like, because I would really like to know. Now, once we arrived, I parked the car and checked for damage on the car, but we didn't see anything. Everything was still fine. The lip was still fine. So yeah, the tires just rubbed. We saw the rub marks on the tires, but otherwise than that, car was fine. So we decided to go for dinner finally, and that was my first time in the Devil's Diner. Very special for me because I said I only wanted to eat here if I drove a lap.
Okay, first lap. How did it go?
And now to see the full potential of what you can make out of these cars without even too much. Michi, he drives a 335i E92 under the chassis, almost the same as the 135i, but he has an improved oil cooler and 54 engine. It's tuned, racing seats, race bucket seats, and yeah, let's go for a ride. So you can already see that he carries way more confidence. Of course, he has around, I think he said 600 laps on here. And you already sense it right into the first section here. Braking where I would brake in the sim as well, and just beautiful. You can already see the speed difference that he has to my lap, but of course, come on, that was to be expected. Time for me now to learn and take some notes, right? He said he was gonna do a chill lap, but I know what lap, time he was driving, and it was so yeah. and I know there was still way more potential in this lap, right? Anyways, into Watzenbach, and you could just feel how much grip this car had. It was insane. It's insane to see how much potential these cars have, right? Now down into Flugplatz, and insane again how much high speed downforce this car had and how much he trusted this car, right? I would have not trusted my car to go into Schwedenkreuz like this. And he brakes work perfectly fine. And now into the scariest part of the track, in my opinion, which is Fuchsröhre. And I just let you guys watch because this is insane. See from my camera movement and everything how extreme the G-forces and the elevations are, but I have to say, with his seat belts, this is pretty much doable compared to how much I was being thrown around in my ride. I really start to think investing into these seat belts might be cool. And here we see the BMW fighting with the Porsche, and I was luckily able to capture it. It's such a crazy lap. And if I'm not mistaken, the driver of the golden BMW is also a girl, and she's pretty quick, dude. This is exactly what our car culture is about. We have this. We can be so glad that we have the Nürburgring and can do things like this, right? Where in the world do people do this? Tell me, there's no other place in the world where you can do things like this. There isn't, and there's no car culture around a track like this. Yeah, sure, there's Sebring and there's, Road America and Road Atlanta, and those are amazing tracks, but nothing really is like the magical spirit around the Nürburgring and its culture there. It's amazing. Anyways, look at that top speed that we're reaching here in the 335i. It's insane. He has 420 horsepower, and that's something that we can get close to. My car cannot pull 420 horsepower. It will somewhere max out at 400 horsepower if we tune it, but I have much less weight, so this is something you could see my car doing at some point, and I'm really excited to reach that level. Closing up to the carousel, we encounter a beautiful M3, and he's gonna drive out of the carousel and trying to take it up to the 335i, but of course the torque and the speed of the E92 335i is insane. There's so much torque and so much acceleration, as you can see here. It's insane just for these cars for such a good price as well. You get so much great platform out of the box. Like, guys, if you're looking for a fun car for the track, 135i or 335i, I can just really recommend it if you want to put the time into maintaining the car and if you really like these types of engines, and if you're a BMW enthusiast, definitely get it. So yeah, if you find one for under 10k or maybe under 15k, depending on how much you really love these cars, think about it as an option. It's there. It's really awesome. It's a ton of fun. Look at this. Like, it's great, dude. It's great. And yeah, he was really pushing the limits of the tires, and you can hear that. And coming up to Brünnchen now, we did a little drift, and this is the E-diff, the open diff. You also saw me already drift that open differential, the E-diff, and it's definitely possible. Like, it's not terrible. You definitely use some of your brake pads because that's how it's regulating, the tire spin in the rear, but works perfectly fine. Of course, if you go for a full track build, limited slip differential like a Drexler makes a lot of sense. But dude, to start out, this is insane. Like with just a few things, right, to get the car to do this, and you're keeping up with, well, top tier sports cars on the ring. And yeah, it's just a ton of fun. But yeah, guys, the lap is slowly coming to an end, and I said that we were gonna go to the Nürburgring when I was already in Thailand, and I held my word, dude. We are finally here, and there's much more to come now. We're putting in the roll cage soon, and then we're definitely gonna go and send it again, and I love it. And thanks for everyone helping me out and being part of the journey. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Please support the channel. It's really gonna help us. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, bye bye.